Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight live on Facebook Live. So for those of you who are watching tonight, thank you for taking the time out, and those on the recording, thank you for watching this later. So my name is Ryan Martin. I'm the Popcorn Staff Advisor for the Cradle Rotary Council for the 2022 Popcorn Fundraiser. I want to welcome everyone tonight. I'll introduce our presenters for tonight. So myself, we also have Kayla Wright and Allison or Andrea Tollison from PAC 231. I apologize for getting that wrong. So I want to thank those two ladies from PAC 231 in Royersford who are going to share a lot of their wisdom and best practices from their great success sale last year and helping to fund their program. So we get started. Please use the chat feature for Facebook Live, and we'll get to all questions at the end of the program. What we will cover tonight. So why the popcorn fundraiser? So there's lots of different ways you can attempt to fund your scouting adventure, both as an individual scout and parent or as a unit. And we're going to talk about how popcorn can help with that endeavor. We'll also talk about using the Trails End app and online direct to raise more money with less time and hopefully less impact on time away from the program and just focusing on the program and having fun. Dates and key information for the 2022 sale, best practices from some of our best unit leaders with the popcorn fundraiser, and who you can help. That's really important, and where you can learn more. Because hopefully we'll give you a lot of good information tonight, but I want everyone to make sure they know where to get more information. So who you can contact for help. So Trails End is always available. So the Trails End website, on Facebook. There's also a support email for technical issues. And there are also, in a future slide tonight, we'll talk about the different webinars that are available, including open office hours, which are going to be probably helpful for a lot of unit leaders as well. So who you can contact in the council. So for each of your districts, you have a fundraising specialist. So for Service Area 1, which includes all the city districts plus Washington District and Conestoga District, that's Denzel Murdaugh. For Service Area 2, which includes Minquist, Baden-Powell, and Constellation District, that is myself. And then for Service Area 3, which includes General Nash, Continental, and Lafayette District, is David Broadhead. We also have a council popcorn team, so Beverly Banks, or Bev for short, is our COL popcorn chair. You have myself, and then our email for popcorn questions, you can go to popcorn@colbsa.org, and then great resource and is now up to date. We got a couple more pieces of information to get up there, but make sure you save the website colbsa.org/popcorn. So why popcorn? So obviously there's a lot of benefits to doing fundraising, a lot of values, but let's talk about, practically what it does for you. So it can help pay for campouts, camp upkeep and adventures, including supporting the council to do those upkeep and providing even bigger programs, help with annual dues and recharter. So there's registration fees that every family must pay, so it can help cover that cost. Some units use it to pay for the whole program. So with popcorn, it allows some units to pay for the uniforms, patches, and awards for families, and they don't have to pay additional money out of pocket for that. Supplies and equipment. So if you're going to go camping, you needed something to sleep under or a hammock or something. So it'll help pay for that type of equipment. Also, specifically for Cub Scouts, Pinewood Derby, Blue and Gold, different stuff like that can really help out. But the big benefit, in addition to practically funding your program, is what scouts develop. They learn how to earn their own way, which it's never early enough to learn that value and that skill set, which will pay off in the long run. Public speaking. What job today do you not need to be at least satisfactory in public speaking? Salesmanship and perseverance. Value of hard work, helping others around them. So specifically when scouts are working together in the popcorn fundraiser, and to be part of something bigger. Obviously there's a direct benefit to the scout, but a lot of popcorn sales go to help out the unit and the scout. So kind of not only help earn their own way, but help support the program they're a part. So one thing you can look at is how to plan your popcorn fundraiser. Kayla and Allison will share their piece of how they went about it last year. But a way you can kind of think about it is how to sell $1,000 in 8 hours. So personally, you download the Trails End app, you personalize it with your scouts information, their goal, all that other good stuff. Set up your online direct with auto share, which takes just a couple of clicks, and we would recommend selecting the top seller plan. You can select a couple different plans there, but we select top seller. And then storefronts. So you can sign up through your popcorn leader to select certain storefronts, and Trails End will even help within that effort, specifically providing additional storefronts this year. And wagon sales. It's kind of a little bit of a lost art that I hope is coming back, is going door to door with product in your red wagon or what have you, and selling directly to your neighbors. Or you can also do take order that way too. So not only can you sell product out, but if they're looking for something that you don't have in your wagon, you can certainly still make that sale and deliver it later. With the app, you can have all that information at your fingertips to deliver later easily without having to read someone's notes later on. So ways to sell. Online direct. Online direct is a really easy way to fund your program. It takes just a few clicks. It's as simple as registering your unit. So even if you're one scout and one parent in your unit, you can register your unit for the Popcorn Fundraiser, download the Trails End app, and then set up the auto share. And it can be simply that easy. We would recommend the top seller plan for that. Wagon sales. I just talked a little bit about that, but that's going door to door with product or without product. Both can be successful, and you can kind of do both at the same time. So even as you're running low on product, as you're starting to sell out and having a lot of success, you can still continue to do that. And that's a great way for scouts to build a customer base for future years as well. Especially using the app, you have all that past sale and past customer information to go back year after year. And especially as Cub Scouts transition to Scouts, this is a great resource to have that ready at your fingertips information on who to go back to in future years. And storefront sales, arguably the most successful way all units in the Cradle Read Council have funded their program through Popcorn are storefront sales. And I know Kayla and Allison will talk a lot more about that. The app, I know we talked a lot about the app, but I'll pause here just to encourage everyone to text app to 62771. That will download the app on your phone and help you start to sell today if your unit is already signed up. If your unit isn't already signed up, so make sure you talk to your unit leader, and if it's part of your unit's program to fund their program, great. If not, like I said, if you're even one scout, one parent, you can let your unit leader know that you're going to do this, and there's no financial obligation to the unit. It's only revenue that could come in. There's no possible expense for a product or anything. Just using the online direct. So you can use it with online direct, wagon sales, and storefronts and booths. The nice thing about the app is it makes everything really easy to navigate as a parent, but also as a unit leader as well. So how it can help you in other ways? So it's even faster and simpler than it has been in the past. For those of you who are familiar with that, auto share, like I mentioned before, is a really great tool and can really make it easy to fund your program, in addition to if you're doing storefront sales or wagon sales. But if this is the only thing you're doing, it really can't be any simpler than just downloading an app, sending it out to your friends and family, and letting them support. Even if they're not in your local area, it allows you to expand your base beyond that. You can also share on social media and what have you. Price is sometimes something that customers say, oh, well, I can't quite afford that $15 item or what have you. You can collect donations starting at $1. And those go to American Heroes, so frontline workers, military members, healthcare workers, etc. And a portion of the proceeds go to them. Just like if you sold $1 of popcorn, you get the same commission on any number of sales you get for American Hero donations. So it's a really great way to kind of support American Heroes, but also support your program at the same time. And the customer feels really good about that support. You can even recruit a scout. So within the app, you can, as you're maybe making a storefront sale, door-to-door sale, you can actually recruit that scout using the built-in Be a Scout feature in this app to recruit for your unit as well. And I know that's something that several of our units used last year, is to help recruit their program. I know one unit that actually participated in Popcorn, I think almost doubled their size just by doing their fundraising through Popcorn, but also using this feature. So again, please take a moment tonight to download the app. So again, you just text app to 62771. Online direct. So another feature of online direct is 1.25, or for every credit card sale, you get extra bonus points towards your prize points. So cash sales are one 1 point per $1 sold. And then online direct and app credits card sales are both 1.25 points. So you get even more rewards points for your Scout using the app. So how it works. So you can share with your fundraising page via email, text, or social media. There's an auto setup feature to share that, you know, with your friends and family without doing any work. You can simply allow it to access your contact, your past sellers, and let it do the work. And you can also share to social media as well. And the great thing for the customer is it ships directly to the customer. And then you don't have to handle that product. It goes straight from the Trails end to the customer, and your unit gets the commission, and you're good to go and keep having more fun. And then it also tracks by Scout. So it's really easy. And then even if you're doing wagon sales, you can take a sale and then text the receipt right to the customer right as you're standing there. Wagon sales. Record all sales in the app, which again allows you to build that customer base, but especially if you have undelivered product. And like I said, you can text order to the customer to complete the transaction right there, or you can do the transaction with them. Easy to sell to friends and family, and then also the parents can sell at work digitally, so a lot easier than it has been in the past to have that paper form at the local business or what have you. You can do it all through the app. Trails End storefront. So units have always done a great job scheduling their own storefronts, which we encourage all units to continue to do so. But a nice feature is Trails End has actually booked nearly 3,000 hours already of storefront hours that units in our council can claim. And those units can then in turn allow their scouts and parents to select those sites. So not only will you have all the sites available that your unit leader has secured, but also some additional sites that Trails End has secured on top of that. So it saves, this is especially a great thing for unit leaders. It'll hopefully save them additional time to book those additional storefronts and add a little bit more, just show up and send it out. And just like parents can claim sites from their unit leader, units can this year claim the sites from Trails End, and then they can in turn turn that over to the parents and scouts. Again, we want to make sure, because this has been the case for 2 years now, I believe, but Trails End picks up all the credit card transaction fees, so you don't have to worry about that. And it's built with Square. So even if you don't have a Square reader, you can plug in the credit card information, all that right there. Or I think if you register a new account with Square, you can get a free Square reader just by signing up with Square. So it's a really great feature. And also with credit card sales, you get 1.25 points for every $1 sold. So scouts can accumulate prize points a lot quicker that way. Scouts don't have to handle cash. And personally, I don't know how much cash is in my wallet right now, but not a whole lot, not enough to support a scout to the level I would. So it eliminates that. It also helps, eliminate a, initial, maybe barrier that a customer might put up just to wanting to walk by is, oh, I don't carry cash, I don't have credit. Well, we accept credit card. Is something that I'll get a lot of customers just to stop right there and support you. Easier for parents and easier for unit leaders as well. Trails End rewards. So I mentioned for using the app and credit card sales, you get actually more rewards points than just a cash sale. With the Trails End rewards, you get Amazon gift cards. So start at 500 points, you'll get a $10 Amazon gift card, and it goes up from there. For scouts that sell really well, you can keep pushing to see how much further you can go, and it's sky's the limit. Anything on Amazon that you can dream of can be what your scout can use for their Amazon gift card through Trails End. So with this, I will stop my screen share and I'll turn it over to Kayla and Allison to share their best practices.
Hi, let me get the screen share set up. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So welcome and thank you for having us speak today. I'm Kayla Wright. I'm here with Andrea Tollison from PAC 231, and we are out of Royersford in the Lafayette district. We went from selling a few thousand in popcorn a year to being the top pack in the Lafayette district. So hopefully some of our ideas can help you. We're going to first talk about online sales and what we did with our scouts. I know for me personally, I'm in real estate. I'm staff at my office, so I don't see my agents all the time. And I did quite a few online orders within my office. And then I don't have a lot of family in the area, but almost all of my family bought something from New Orleans to West Virginia to Boston to Pittsburgh to Florida. So that was a really easy way to have things shipped directly to them. And my son's teacher didn't want to make a scene, so she ordered online as well so that he wasn't bringing in a bag of popcorn. She just had it delivered to the house, just to not upset anyone. So that was definitely, the online is absolutely amazing. Andrea, do you want to say anything about online?
Yeah, the way I approached online with my scout, I also have family that lives out of town. I shared the ordering link via text message, and they put in orders. Some of them ordered popcorn. Some of them chose to make donations because they were watching their calories, and that was all. It all counted towards my scout. I also did take advantage of some of the contact, having access to the contacts, shared to some people that I hadn't previously sold to in the past. One of my favorite things to do, though, was when we were doing a show and sell, I would take a picture of my scout at the booth, and then I would share that on Facebook with the link for online ordering. And we definitely got some people who were attracted by the photo and then took advantage of the link to place an online order. So those were the main ways that I did the online ordering. And I second what Kayla said. It was really, really easy to use.
And we also, for the other scouts in our pack, created a flyer that could convert into a JPEG or PNG, I don't remember which it was, to be shared online. So we just had the scout parent take a picture of their child in uniform with like doing a one of these poses with their fingers up, and then remove the background, and we were able to superimpose that actual child with their link, and I think a QR code, if I remember correctly. Yes. Directly, so they could share it on any social media platform as well. And that was not hard to do. There are a million apps that'll remove backgrounds, and then you just save that image, import it onto something, create a new QR code, done. And it's an easy image for them to share online.
Yeah. And I know at the end of the presentation, we'll share our contact information. And if you're interested in some of those little hacks, would certainly be willing to talk you through the tools that we used. But like Kayla said, there's all sorts of free tools, and no money was spent on creating the flyers.
No, just a few minutes each, for each scout. It's not a big deal at all when we're doing all of this already. We might as well take the extra few minutes to try to make more money for our packs. So we are going to be going over the following items. So how to make it fun, get yourselves and your pack or troop excited, ways to use the money, how to run the numbers, storefront logistics, and our final results. One thing that I wanted to share is that we started off with about 20 scouts, and we almost doubled in size during popcorn season. And Andrea and I were brand new colonels. She and her son had sold popcorn in past years, but we joined just after popcorn season in 2019. And as we all know, the world shut down that winter. And so this was my first experience with popcorn. And somehow we ended up helping run a very successful fundraising season and also growing our pack. Like I said, almost doubled it. We started promoting early, so we were consistently reaching out to our returning scouts and making ourselves known as the new colonels at each of our events. Andrea and I sat down with the former colonel and learned the system and started setting goals for ourselves, the pack, and scouts with their parents. This year, we implemented something new and allowed for our scouts to be able to pay for their annual dues with popcorn money. And so we really started promoting that at our kickoff event, which was an ice cream social. And it was there, and many times after that we announced our pack goals to parents and scouts. We had a crazy goal of 100% of our scouts participating. And we got pretty close, especially doubling in size. We had a lot of new scouts offering to help sell popcorn when they had literally just joined, weeks prior. So we were reaching out to the community and started setting up storefronts early. The first thing that we did was send out a Google form with every Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday with time slots for the entire popcorn season to see when parents and scouts were available to run any storefront. And with that, we made an internal calendar with times and dates that were able to be filled by at least 2 families before we made the calls to local businesses to set up our storefronts. We ran into a problem reaching businesses because I have a full-time job, as I said, and can only call at stores peak hours, evenings and weekends. Restaurants, that's when they're busiest. So I got creative. If I wasn't receiving a call back, I would message them on Facebook, walk in, and reached out to some businesses next to grocery stores when the grocery store wouldn't allow storefronts. And I relied on other parents who happened to know a certain business owner in our community to help get those storefronts scheduled. One thing that I learned is to schedule the whole season from the start, because I found myself stressing out 2 weeks before the next opening when I hadn't filled it with a business. And there were a few businesses that I never thought would say yes, and they did. So it doesn't hurt to ask. One of those was Marshall's, right? Like, you don't think something huge like that is going to say yes, but they did. So it wasn't just community businesses that we ended up using. And that Marshall's happens to be right next to a grocery store. So it worked out pretty well for us. And I accidentally just totally skipped it. Okay, here we go. Okay. These spreadsheets talk about how we came up with no, did I go too far?
No,
I'm
this
good.
is right.
Okay. I accidentally scrolled on the wrong thing. So these spreadsheets talk about how we came up with 600 per scout to pay their dues for the year. And it may be different for everyone. We talked with our treasurer to set this example up. Although I have heard that other packs and troops have very similar ideas. So we figured out exactly how much we would need to survive the year. And then we overshot our monetary goal, which will give us a better baseline for this upcoming season. Andrea was the brains behind the ordering and the inventory. So I am going to pass this off to her now.
Yeah, I want to give Kayla credit because she was the rah person and I was the behind the scenes. So we had very different roles, worked very well together. And like Kayla said, we were, top sellers in our, I think, region 3 for our council. So couple things. So I handled the inventory. The app, definitely recommend the app. I know some families were initially a little reluctant to do that because it hadn't been done that way in the past. But as a Colonel, especially, the app was invaluable for tracking inventory and cash. A couple of things I wanted to touch on with storefronts. I know some families and potential customers are a little bit nervous about the cost of the popcorn. And I was too, as a first time popcorn person. Girl Scouts has a different business model with cookie sales than popcorn. What I found though, when my Scout was actually selling, was that there was not a lot of pushback on the cost. And I just made sure that my son was prepared with the amount of the percentage that goes to scouting. He also knew to mention that we can take credit cards. And between those two things, I found that the barriers for the customer actually melted away. And if a customer didn't want to, pay for the popcorn, we did have a jar available for donations, which we then turned around and entered as American Hero donations. So our scouts still got credit. And I did that for all of the storefront sales and the scouts who staffed them. as far as one of the things that I think made our pack successful is that I worked with each family individually. I sat down with them, I gave them an introduction to the app, almost went through like a mock sale so that they actually knew what the process was going to feel like. I provided them with one of the square readers based on their specific phone type, provided them with a table, the tape. I really tried to make it like a, drive up, here's everything you need for the storefront, and they were good to go. So I, as a colonel, one of my key roles was just to make sure that the families were equipped with what they needed. I also found it really helpful to look at what I was expecting to sell and provide them with enough popcorn, but not so much that it felt overwhelming. There's something really rewarding about almost selling out. And it was really motivating for the scouts to see the inventory depleting and going, oh my gosh, we only have like 2 more bags to sell. Let's do this. And I know that that was motivating for our scouts. And then as far as closing out the sales, there is a lot of inventory and cash, and, took advantage of like inventory came back, we reconciled, took care of the cash balances, all that stuff. It was all able to be done in the app. And as the operations geeky numbers person, the app made me very happy. So if you are a colonel or just someone looking to use the app, like it really is an amazing tool that Trails End makes available for us. So I cannot speak more highly about the experience of the app and all of those details. Do you want to switch slides? Awesome. Okay, so the final results. We did end up having 22 scouts participate, which Kayla mentioned that we had, I think, less than 22 when the year started, and then we nearly doubled in size. It was insane. Like, so we didn't get to 100%, mostly because we just actually ran out of popcorn. It was crazy. But our sales for the 22 scouts that participated, sales ranged from $20 to $1,298. So we had a wide range of participation levels. We focused primarily on storefronts. We had 50 different shifts across 14 different locations. 18 scouts worked those shifts. And in the end, Kayla mentioned that $600 was our threshold for scouts to be fully funded not fully funded, but for their dues to the pack to be covered. We had 11 scouts that actually made that threshold, which was huge for our families. And then we also had 7 that were partially paid for dues. And for that, we had like $120 threshold. And you can see the pie chart on the right just shows our breakdown. So we had just shy of half of our revenue, which was $13,617, blows my mind. Almost half of that came from storefronts. And then it was pretty evenly split between wagon sales and online orders. So it was amazing. Like Kayla alluded to this, but the prior year, I think we had sold $2,000 total. So to, 6 times that in our first year as colonels was pretty spectacular.
We are the dream team.
And we're back for another year.
See why I'm the rah-rah one?
What's the next slide here?
Our information.
Oh, yes. Okay. So our contact information is in here. I would certainly be willing to share the template for printout and spreadsheets. I could talk spreadsheets with anyone. So you let me know if you want to have that sort of geeky conversation. And Kayla could, give you her tricks for reaching out to people and how to ask. And
no, not a problem at all. You can reach out anytime, call, text, email. I'm available to help in any way possible. So I am going to stop sharing. If I can get back to, it's on this screen. That would be why. Okay.
And while she's doing that, I know she already said thank you, but I'd like to also say thank you to the council for the opportunity to share our experiences. It's been really neat. And I'm looking forward to what this next year is going to offer us.
Excellent. Well, I have anointed you the dream team as well, so I fully support that nickname. So thank you to Andrea and Kayla, I apologize. I had the Freudian slip there earlier, but thank you both of you for sharing your best practices. And one thing I just thinking on the call right now is I like to set up maybe a Facebook Live where you can do your Andrea and Kayla popcorn hacks. Set up do a video series or something like that on YouTube. I think that'd be excellent. So, all right, well, thank you. So let me share my screen here. So we just went over that. So some key dates, let me hide so I can go through this. So we have our online sale kickoff tonight, which is also looking ahead to fall. So that's what we're talking about tonight. We'll have a virtual unit kickoff, a little bit more information than we have tonight. That will be a Zoom conference. So we'll have a registration for that. You can also sign up, the day of for that. So that's just going to be a little bit more Q&A. As well as some more detailed information. So that's July 14th. That is a week before the first order deadline. So one feedback we got in the past was units wanted popcorn even earlier to start selling. So hopefully that will help all units, but especially our top units that did a great job, including Pack 231. So we'll have a Scout sales training in-person unit kickoff on August 13th. That will be a great opportunity to enjoy some in-person fellowship. Maybe the dream team will be there to help do a Scout sales training for your Scouts as well as their own Scouts. So I'm putting that out there now so they can't say no later. The first order pickup. So if your unit qualified for home delivery, like Pack 231 that sold over 10,000 last year, as long as our delivery partner is able to fulfill that, we'll do home deliveries. If not, pickups for every other unit will be on August 13th. We'll do our next order deadline, which is Friday, August 26th. And then that pickup for that order will be September 10th. Of additional order, if there's enough demand, depending on kind of how the sale's going, that order will be due Wednesday, September 28th. But before we'll place that order as a council, we're going to have a popcorn amnesty day. So this is when units can return up to 10% of their final order, full cases, no chocolate. This is an opportunity for units that are doing really well to exchange product with other units to help, kind of facilitate additional product that maybe something's selling, but, something else isn't. It'll be an opportunity for that. It can also be an opportunity for additional units to enter the popcorn sale as an additional entry point. So if we do that additional bonus order, that pickup will be on October 15th. We'll do a sales blitz weekend, the weekend of August 3rd, and then we'll do a take order deadline rebalance day as well later on in the sale. Price points. So who's aware of inflation being a thing out there, unfortunately? In order to keep the return to Sky in 70%, which is on all of the different products and stuff like that, so to make sure we're keeping that 70% return scouting, the prices did increase in a couple cases. So classic caramel corn, formerly $10, now $15. Popping corn went from 15 to 17. Unbelievable butter increased by 5, and white cheddar and kettle as well. Salted caramel remains at $25. Chocolate pretzels increased $5, and then sweet and savory collection went up $2. But so $15 is the first price point for the physical product. But as Andrea and Kayla mentioned, as well as I, you can start selling product at $1 with American Hero Donation. So price shouldn't be a barrier. But if $15 is just too much, then make sure you really utilize those American Hero Donations, whether you collect them at the table or through the app and enter them later. We really encourage you to enter them later because that adds additional prize points to your Scouts, but also brings a higher commission to your unit. You may go, without factoring those American Hero Donations, maybe that's the difference between being a $10,000 unit or not, and getting that bonus commission on top of what you're already getting. This is the picture of the product line. So I mentioned this earlier. So with American Hero Donation, so you can do $30 or $50 donation levels, or just depending on whether it's $1 or any increment of $1, you can collect donations for that amount and enter that in. But if someone wants to do $30 or $50, you can offer those points as well. Online products. So there are products additional to what the show and sell items are available, and these can be seasonal and can there could be different specials throughout the sale. One thing that I really like is peppermint bark and the frosted snowflakes. It really is around the holiday season. Great opportunity. Trails End webinar. So we'll have a couple more trains for the Cradle to Read. Like I mentioned, you can always reach out to your fundraising specialists. Andrea and Kayla made their contact information available, so you can reach out to them. I may actually take Andrea up on her offer. She might be able to help me learn some new things. But the webinars start on July 9th, and those are a great opportunity to learn a little bit more detailed information. And there's even open office hours this year. So this is just a screenshot of that website, which there can be a link found to this on colbsa.org/pop. Who you can contact. I just want to make sure that's at everyone's fingertips, and you're never, feel like you're alone in the dark. As you can see from our friends from PAC 231, it's a little fun. Believe it or not, fundraising through popcorn can be fun. As that's the biggest thing I pick up from their presentation, is that they have a really good rapport and enjoy, not only supporting their individual scouts, but their unit and enjoying the ride along with it. But you can always reach out to Trails End. But your best contact is always going to be your fundraising specialist and your district popcorn leader. Their contact information, again, can be found at colbsa.org/popcorn. So at this point, I will stop my sharing and see if we have any questions. Let's see, there's one thing in the chat. Okay,
I'll come back on if there are any others.
Yeah, are there any questions, Dave? Okay, doesn't sound like it. The one thing I did forget to mention is the commissions. So commissions are same as they were last year. So units that sold just $1 below 5,000 make 30% commission. Units that sell between 5,000 and 9,999 receive 35% commission. Above that 10,000 or more is 40%. Units that order product but do not return anything get an additional 2% bonus commission. And then online direct sales are all 35% commission. So that 77% return to scouting, vast majority of that's going to the unit. And then the remainder goes to support council camps and properties, and also all the services and programs provided. So it's a win-win all the way around. If you do the online donations with American Heroes, there's a third win there. So the elusive win-win-win. So with that, I will thank everyone for coming out.
One quick thing, just about the price raises. I thought about this as you were going over the product lineup. The caramel corn was our worst seller. So the cheapest product was our worst seller. So the inflation, it's hitting everything. And it really, that I couldn't believe it when Andrew and I were going over the numbers that the cheapest thing was the worst seller. People like this popcorn. Right.
And especially
Andrea, you're muted.
Worst seller, like I think part of it was first year Colonel. I ordered more than we needed to order of the least expensive product, and then found myself,
mistake, right?
Yeah, total rookie mistake. Not going to happen again.
All right. Anything else from our dream team? Okay.
No, I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there.
Yep. No, the last thing I'll share is this is actually my first year. I've been popcorn staff advisor for a few years, but this is the first year I'll be able to sell my scout. So I just signed my son Miles up for Cub Scouts tonight. We are joining a pack that literally I was told does not do fundraising. That's fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to sell for our packs. It's going to be my son Miles and I. We're going to do that app with online direct and auto share to the top seller. And then we're going to pick our local barbershop, which, talking to the barber that cuts our hair every couple months, every 30 minutes, 2 more people are walking in. So, and every Saturday is available. And then the local movie theater where we saw the Girl Scouts. It can really be quite simple. But you just got to kind of know where to start. So you can start with reaching out to one of us, or reaching out to your local fundraising specialist or colonel, or the dream team. So with that, Denzel, I think we can close it down, and thank you so much. And take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.